We begin college football final with a Saturday tradition unlike any other. Great finish and a better celebration. Abilene Christian, Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin down. Trey Self, Remy Simmons. Under a minute left in the game. We're tied at 29. We go to overtime. So Abilene Christian hit a field goal. Stephen F. Austin could win it. Chad Awney, ball game, 35-32. Their head coach, Kobe Carthy, had recently been out with COVID.
Get it.
He's back on the sideline this week.
Get
and
it.
That's what he's
Where's
doing.
his mask?
He's taking it. Not only does he not need a mask, doesn't need a shirt.
No.
And then again, why do any of us? Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, Matt Barrie. What a celebration to start a big college football Saturday. Gentlemen, why was it so big? I know what you're thinking. The Mountain West is back.
It is.
Not true. Penn State, Big Ten is back. And what an upset we had on Saturday. Indiana hadn't beaten a top 10 team since 1987. 41 straight, under 4 to play. Michael Penix finds Peyton Hendershot wide open across the field, but he can't grab it.
Indiana's up by 6. If you're going to knock off a ranked opponent, you have to hit the layups. This goes right through Hendershot's hands. They would have to punt the ball away.
So ensuing Penn State drive, Sean Clifford drops back, had loads of time before finding a wide open Jahan Dotson.
Penn State was down 17-7 at the half. The comeback is complete. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. Penn State takes the lead.
They take a 1-point lead. Later, Indiana, 4th and 21. Penix to tie Freifogel, which just overthrows him.
Ball just gets tipped, just goes off the fingertips of Freifogel here.
And you're thinking all of a sudden, here we go. But look at
No, don't.
Devin
Gets
Ford.
in the end zone. There's 1:40 left. Gives Indiana enough time. He thought about it on the inch line.
Could be a dollar candidate. Penn State leads 28-20, so Penix, he gets another life. Jacoby Hewitt, 14 yards.
How did he get that throw out under duress, and how did Hewitt make that catch?
First and goal, Indiana. Great questions answered here by Penix. Keeps it himself, 28-26. Joey, they have to go for two.
I love
to do it. So Penix keeps it himself to tie.
Of course he's going to keep it himself. There's a bunch of guys. He rushed for negative 18 yards, but in overtime, he gets this one in. Let's go.
Stats irrelevant. Moment is 3rd and 7, 9 for Penn State. Clifford scrambles, finds Parker Washington falling in the end zone.
Threw for 3 touchdowns, but also ran for 119 yards in a TD. A great job here by Washington getting his hands underneath that football.
So that's the first possession in overtime. Now the second overtime. Penix finds Whop Failure.
Failure was a 1,000-yard receiver last year. He's their go-to guy. 5'11", Barry. Those are the receivers I like to see make plays.
So, Indiana down 35-34. What do? You go for two.
Let's go.
Penix keeps it himself. Dives.
Does he get it? Does he get it?
So it's called two. It's called good on the field. I want you to have another look. Each of you weigh in quickly. Good or no good?
I think if you called it good on the field, you have to leave it as good. If they called it no good, it'll stay as good.
It's just the physics of football, guys.
It really is physics.
There's not enough evidence to overturn
Break it down.
Gravity, and they didn't overturn it. It was the upset of Saturday. Indiana wins 36-35. James Franklin, what did you see?
From what I was told, it could have went either way. But if it's something that could have went either way, then it's inconclusive, and the play calls, and the stand calls. Yeah, at the end of the game, you don't get explanations. Once they make a decision, they run off the field. You're never going to get an explanation at the end of a game, especially with a controversial player or call.
In my mind, I scored. I knew it was a touchdown as soon as I did it. That's why, I told the team, I was like, hey, when they were reviewing, I was like, man, it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. I kept saying it's a touchdown because I just knew, I couldn't let the guys down today, So I made sure I gave my
I'm telling you what, Saturday was the 12th time the Hoosiers opened their season against an AP-ranked team, and the previous 11 times they lost by a combined 23 points per game.
How'd that go for you?
Not well. This win snapped the 41-game losing streak against AP top 10 teams, the second longest active streak entering Saturday. The last time they beat an AP top 10 team, 1987, which coincidentally was Galloway's rookie year in the NFL. When you look at how we got to the overtime point, Indiana was in this game the entire way. How did Penn State allow this to happen?
It's interesting. When you look at the stat sheet, Penn State had more yards. Indiana had like 211 yards in this game. but it was the turnovers by Penn State. They were 3 of 6 in the red zone. They had 10 penalties. And Indiana's good enough to beat you if you don't bring your A game. You'll see Sean Clifford, his feet are on the goal line, backs into the end zone, has a wide open fire move. That's his tight end, that's his go-to guy. Across the field, you have to hit this. Throws the interception, Indiana's in scoring position. And that's why they could put points on the board. They were up 17-7 at the end of the first half, and they didn't have a lot of offense. So here's the fumble. Again, Penn State having a chance to put points on the board. You gotta find a way to get this done. You're a top 10 team. You're a team that everyone expects to challenge Ohio State for the Big Ten title. You have to find a way to make that play. They missed 2 field goals in this game, and if they make these kind of mistakes, they won't beat teams like Indiana. Now, they got Ohio State next, so they can make up for this, but people will be asking, were you looking ahead of Indiana? Indiana's a good football team.
They are, and I think you have to feel really good for their quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. Remember, had a right shoulder injury last year, missed half the season, and he didn't put up huge numbers in this one, 19 to 36, only 170 yards passing, but he made huge plays late in this game, and those highlights that we showed you, 2-minute drill in the situation, making unbelievable throws under duress into small windows, the 2 two-point runs late in this game, the touchdown pass in OT came on 3rd down. You look at Indiana's offense, they've got a really good group of receivers and running backs, and if Penix Jr. can stay healthy, I think they have a chance to be one of the better offenses in the Big Ten.
And you guys said it in the highlight, Penix Jr. stats didn't jump off the page. What did is he stepped up when they needed him most, and because of it, Indiana perhaps got the biggest win on Saturday. The Big Ten's best hope for a playoff team has always been Ohio State. They got Nebraska on Saturday. Jess, first quarter, game tied at 7. Justin Fields and the offense gets in rhythm.
Justin Fields was 20 of 21 in this game. You see the fake zone read. It just occupies the safety for a second. It allows Garrett Wilson, a wide receiver, to run deep down the middle of the field. You cannot walk this to Garrett Wilson any better. I'll tell you, Wilson and Chris Olave, a wide receiver for Ohio State, that's one of the best 1-2 combos in the country.
And then here, early third quarter, Ohio State leading by 10. And again, he can do this, Jess.
He looked real good running the football, too. He's going to scramble out of here. And it looks like a Nebraska defender has the angle to cut him off, but too much speed. You've got 6 defenders for Nebraska pursuing this play. Just use the sideline as a 12th defender. How about the circle button by Justin Fields?
The circle button, so underrated. Everybody likes the X button, R1, R2. Circle's going to get it done as well. Circle gets the square there, as does the Buckeyes defense. 7 banks, our favorite playing football, scoop, and score.
I know as a team, Ohio State, to go back and think, defensively they didn't play well, but they did get a couple turnovers. They put this one in the end zone, which really puts this game away. At this stage, Nebraska has no chance to come back.
Which is when Joey started breathing, virtual lock implications, and the Buckeyes minus the points. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba, true freshman, maybe the catch of the day.
We got to go look at this again. The official said out of bounds, and I think in fast motion it looked out of bounds. Watch him get the foot down.
Toe tap. So good out of the true freshman. Ohio State now, that's a fathead, that's a poster. 13 consecutive wins by double digits against Big Ten teams. They toe tap their way to a beatdown, 52-17.
Was the number one thing going into the game was just getting to 1-0 and not trying to win a championship, not trying to get, Heisman Trophy, and just win the first game. And I thought Justin played really well. I thought we left a lot in the field. We got a lot to coach off of on both sides of the ball. I thought Nebraska came out with a really good game plan, played really hard. I think they're gonna have a good team this year. But we're just happy to be 1-0.
It just feels great to just be back out here and playing football again. So we're definitely excited, and we're just ready to move on to next week.
Look, they were the voices of the offseeds for the Big Ten. We want to play football, and Fields showed an immediate why. Completed better than 95% of his passes against Nebraska. Good for best completion percentage in a game in Ohio State history.
Whoa.
He broke John Borton's record. 88% from 1952. Galloway's freshman year. More.
John Borton was a ball.
Double undercut by Barrie.
Big
double
game.
undercut.
Little brown jug, Michigan, Minnesota. Great story before the game. The game featured an all-black officiating crew for the first time in any Power 5 conference game. First quarter, Michigan 1st and 10, trailing 7-0. Zach Charbonnet untouched.
Attitude run, down block, pulling a guard, and the defense for Minnesota was going to be a question mark. They lost 5 of their 6 top tacklers from a year ago. Nobody there filling the lane.
You know where the defense wasn't a question mark for the Wolverines? Michael Barrett just absolutely puts Tanner Morgan to bed. And
I always wonder how you quarterbacks don't see the blitz coming to your face. You got to feel this. You got to know he's coming.
14 straight points, 14-7 lead. You saw Barrett make the hit.
Yeah.
Look what he does here on the pooch kick, 66 yards.
So he plays that hybrid Viper position on defense because he's got tremendous speed. They say he runs in the 4.4 range at about 225 pounds. This guy does everything.
You got to watch out for the Viper. Remember in Top Gun, they didn't know Viper was up there, and all of a sudden he was there picking
he was
them
there?
off. Yeah. Joe, you've never seen Top Gun?
I have not.
Dollar.
We'll address that in the D's. Ben Mason flips into the end zone. Look at the athleticism. Michigan up 21-10. Second quarter, 3rd and 2 from the 4, leading 28-17. Handoff to Hassan Haskins.
Yeah, Michigan ran the ball for 253 yards. Their offensive line played really well in this game.
And this is what Michigan can do. They can run the ball, and they did so on Saturday. They get the win 49-24 and loving it.
He was cool as a cucumber. Tell you what, he handled everything with aplomb. His accuracy in the passing game, real command of the offense, and he ran with the football with authority and had great ball security. Just really played an outstanding game.
When you look at the score, I felt like we were always in that game, maybe until the last 5 minutes. Like I felt there was something that we could do, and we just didn't take advantage of it.
You know, a Michigan football team coached by Jim Harbaugh, they want to run the ball. They want to be physical. And you saw a lot of attitude runs here on Charbonnet's long touchdown. Down block, H-back gets upfield. You're pulling a guard to try and create this seam. You see Mason here, 42. Encave it, crease them. All of a sudden, the guard just needs to get a piece of this defender. Zach Charbonnet offer a 70-yard run, open up the hole. These physical type runs where they're getting a lot of movement. Remember, 4 new offensive line starters for Michigan, and boy, did they show up. Tight ends getting blocks, fullbacks getting blocks. Keep your eye on Jalen Mayfield, the right tackle. He's the next great one at Michigan. He's going to be a first-round pick, 320 pounds. Did a really good job running down close to the goal line. And I think with a young quarterback like Joe Milton now, just getting his feet wet, trying to gain confidence. We know Michigan always wants to be physical, but they're going to have to really rely on this run game, especially early this year. Really impressed with what they did on that side of the ball.
And they showed big play ability, which we haven't seen out of this Michigan offense, scoring 35 points in the first half, which hasn't happened in forever for Michigan. I was impressed with their defense, with the 5 sacks. They forced 2 turnovers. On their schedule is Wisconsin. They have Ohio State. They have Penn State. They have Indiana. So this is a Michigan team that is going to be tested, but this is a great start. And a statement that says that Michigan is ready to go.
Yeah.
Now can they continue to do it?
A couple of things on Milton. He's the first quarterback recruited by Jim Harbaugh at Michigan to start for him. After the game, Harbaugh said he played with poise. He was calm. That start went exactly how they envisioned it would. And oh, by the way, Michigan, 5 rushing touchdowns. First time they've done that since the start of 2017. We are just getting started here on College Football Final. A big G5 game in Dallas. Ponies, Bearcats. Who comes out on top? Plus, in the Big 12, you had Iowa State and the Pokes for the battle of Big 12 supremacy. Did Chuba chew his way through the defense? Find out. We're off and running. This is College Football Final. Now, good for the group of 5. Big game on Saturday. 2 unbeaten teams. Bright lights. Saturday night, Cincinnati returning to play for the first time in 21 days after positive COVID test. And Desmond Ridder was up to the challenge.
Made good decisions. This one on 3rd and goal. Throws a touchdown to his tight end, Josh Watt.
Kid can sling it. He can also run it, Joe.
Yeah, and watch the ability to go follow his blockers, cut it upfield, ran it 8 times for 179 and 3 touchdowns.
And right now, Bearcats lead 14-0, starting to pull away a little bit. But you know, Shane Buechele and these Ponies offense not going to be held down all night. Rasheed Rice.
This is a nice play, but Cincinnati's defense was outstanding in this one. They held Shane Buechele to just 216 yards passing.
So at that point, 14-7. Here, Ridder does a great job. 3rd and 6, scans, can't find anybody, but he can't sprint.
Yeah, and Cincinnati was just too physical for SMU. They ran the ball for 313 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And a really good, I love this play call out of Fickle. 4th and goal, go for it.
And I think Jared Dokes is one of the better running backs in the country down by the goal line. He has the innate ability to just sniff out the end zone.
And late in this game, it was statement time out of Ridder.
Yeah, and SMU came into this game averaging 42 42 points a game. The Cincinnati defense was only giving up 12. The defense was better.
You say they averaged 42, they scored 42. Luke Fickell in Cincinnati, big win.
A lot of resiliency. I mean, I am so proud of what they did. Every one of those kids. I mean, we were down a few guys. We had a couple of guys go down. We had some other guys. I don't call them backups. You know, they're the 1Bs, the guys that just might not go out there on the first snap, but they really stepped up. They continued to fight. You knew they were going to keep taking shots, and you know what? We never let up.
Virtual lock implications and a big one in the Big 12. Iowa State, Oklahoma State, both of these teams undefeated in conference play. Brock Purdy had to contend with the other offense, and that other offense includes one Chuba Hubbard.
And Oklahoma State's done a great job getting the Sherwood Park, Alberta native going now these last 2 weeks. Runs this one out from 32 yards. And you see his vision, his ability to cut back, the phenomenal balance, gets one hand on the ground, keeps him up, breaking tackles. Right now, he's looking like the Chuba Hubbard we saw last year in prime form.
Take that, Palmer, in your +3 Iowa State pick. But this made you feel good. Breece Hall ties it with a 66-yarder.
Great blocking up front. Breece Hall, 185 yards rushing in this game, and he's going to get there. Not great breakaway speed, but he can get to the end.
Effective speed, not breakaway speed. That's correct. And then Spencer Sanders back for the Pokes.
Yeah, got injured week 1 against Tulsa. Threw a couple picks in this one, but he brings this element and dynamic to the offense, his ability to run the football.
And he brings Oklahoma State back on top, 21-14, so just under a minute to go, 2nd and 17. Purdy escapes the pressure, finds Xavier Hutchinson late touchdown.
This is a great throw on the run, gets the touchdown, kick the extra point, and now what do we need? Come on, baby.
We need the onside kick. We need the good. We need a good
But
bounce.
not to Tylan Wallace.
Well, yeah, but that's the hands
Best
game.
hands.
Backdoor cover band, kind of. Oklahoma State, 24-21. For the first time in Virtual Lock's history, we had a push because there was no point in a hook. Coach Gundy might have one of the best defenses he's ever had at Oklahoma State, which is saying something. Cowboys are on pace to set a single-season best in a number of defensive categories since he took over in 2005. And according to ESPN's FPI, they have a 41% chance to win the Big 12. Speaking of the Big 12, Kansas State and Kansas, because we have to. First quarter, no score, and we want to brag on Phillip Brooks, who is an absolute monster on Saturday.
Yeah, and this is great blocking. I think either one of you two could have probably taken this one back, maybe not at the end, maybe pull a hamstring.
Nice.
But then you're thinking, do not kick him the ball again.
55-yard punt return. That's probably a good point. Don't
kick it. And this is crazy, too, because just a week ago, Joshua Youngblood, their All-American kick returner from last year, decided to enter the transfer portal. So you thought that would affect them on special teams? Nope.
No.
Defense played well. 12th straight win against Kansas.
55-14 the final. Virginia Tech, Wake Forest. Wake Forest trying to get their first win over the Hokies since 2014. Under 2 to go in the half. Tied at 10. Kenneth Walker III gets the ball. Wildcat formation, and he flies.
I never understand when you see Wildcat formation, put all 11 guys in the box. They're going to run the football.
You got to fight through in this Virtual Lock game for one Jesse Palmer, who took Hendon Hooker in Virginia Tech.
Hendon Hooker, he ran for 98 yards but was very inaccurate. Here the freshman walk-on, Nick Anderson, coming up with a pick.
So Virginia Tech down 10, 1st and 10. Hooker to Anderson. Oh,
he's on the wrong team.
Yeah, Virginia Tech had 100 more yards than Wake Forest, but you turn it over 3 times, you lose football games.
Yeah, not a good day for Hendon Hooker. Hokies have one last chance, 3rd and 10, own 16. Hooker rips it downfield right in the arms of who?
Anderson.
That's right. What we do here is we tell stories. Anderson becomes the first Wake Forest player since '87 with 3 interceptions.
Okay, in the spring, he's going to be on scholarship.
How about that? The story there, a walk-on. I'd say he earned a scholarship on Saturday. Congratulations to Anderson on a great, great game. What about North Carolina, NC State? Mac Brown trying to battle back from that loss to Florida State. Sam Howell will help you.
Yeah, Sam Howell got off to a better start in this game than he did last week against Florida State. Good job throwing and running.
And then Howell finds Michael Carter for a big game.
Carter had 2 catches, but he also had over 100 yards rushing. North Carolina ran the ball for 326 yards in this game.
Man, I'll tell you, I don't know where this offense was a week ago, but we saw it again on Saturday. Josh Downs for 6.
What you like about Sam Howell here, playing on time, anticipating throws, and having the confidence to take shots.
Perhaps some helmet sticker implications for Javonte Williams.
19 carries, 163 touchdowns.
UNC dominant, 48-21 the final over the Wolfpack. Boy, was the weather in South Florida on Saturday just an absolute rainy, sluggy, sloshy mess. But De'Aaron King hits Mike Harley early.
Head coach Manny Diaz wants his receivers to step up and start making more plays. Mike Harley answered the bell. 10 catches, $170, and that score.
7-0, less than a minute into the game. And then Brennan Armstrong here to Tony Poljan.
How about this catch? This one is another catch that's right up there for catch of the day. Entire body to the right, gets the left foot down.
That's a good point. We saw a lot of good catches on Saturday. Donald Janey Jr. here forces his way into the end zone. Miami would fail the 2-point conversion. Nonetheless, Hurricanes kind of slug their way to a win, 19-14 over Virginia. All right, so we saw another busy Saturday. We saw an upset. How did that change the top 5? Jesse and Joey are headed to the touchscreen as we speak to let you know who the new top 5 is. Plus, the Big Ten returns. Rutgers was ending streaks. Purdue was doing fun. Our pets' heads were falling off. But then again, it was another Saturday of college football. Who on this set felt good about taking Clemson minus 48 points against Syracuse?
Not me.
I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. It was like, you know what, it's Syracuse. They just got boat raced by Liberty, and Clemson hung 73 against Georgia Tech. Why not? Why not us? Cornell Powell, 25-yard touchdown.
3rd and 8 on a curl route. Great job after the catch separating, scoring, and Clemson's rolling. No big deal.
Right, we just sat down with a bag of snacks, and it was 7-0. Then Travis Etienne, 25 yards for the touchdown.
Etienne was banged up in this game, had to come out of the game, help off the field, went back in, and then went into the locker room, but did return to the game.
17-0 first quarter covered. It's locked.
Easy.
Clemson now leading 24-7. Lawrence,
Ooh, he threw a pick last week against Georgia Tech, had a pick dropped earlier in this game. You see the location of the throw, not where it needs to be in the seam. Garrett Williams takes this one to the crib. First ever career pick 6 for Trevor Lawrence.
That's what's incredible to me. First ever. Syracuse now only down 10, and then wait a second.
What is going on?
Wait, I don't get this.
Culpepper was 10 of 26 for 175, and they're back in it. 27-21, upset alert.
That's an 83-yard touchdown. What's going on? Syracuse now only trails 27-21, and then Mark Jones Jr. brings pressure to Culpepper, and this is where it started to turn for the Tigers. The old scoop and score, Andrew Booth Jr.
True freshman Brian Bressie forces the fumble. Andrew Booth Jr. has been Johnny on the spot this year for Clemson. 4 turnovers for Syracuse.
And then Travis Etienne puts this thing away. Clemson, like this is the perfect scenario for Dabo Swinney. 38th straight regular season win, 27th straight win in the ACC, and Dabo gets to coach him up.
We won the game by almost 4 touchdowns. So I think this is the right press conference. So I just want to make sure, because I'm not getting any questions about, are you proud of you guys for winning the game? It's all about, there's a lot of negative questions. So you're not going to get any negative stuff from me.
He'll do that when
How about
the
that
media's not
suit
around.
jacket?
Yeah.
Dabo. Love that Dabo guy. All right, Alabama, Tennessee. We'll show you the game in a minute, but first we wanted to show you this. Out of the end zone, Jalen Waddle opening kickoff. Gruesome injury, gets tackled awkwardly. Serious pain on the ground. Right ankle gets caught and rolled up.
You feel really bad for Jalen Waddle in this situation. A big play wide receiver, a speed guy. This is going to require surgery. He'll be out for the season. You just feel terrible for this young man.
Just awful. Last year, the Tua injury, and now Jalen Waddle. Here's Nick Saban.
Really a sad time for me, for Jalen Waddle and his family. He's got a very similar injury to what Kenyon Drake had. It's a high ankle sprain, but also a fracture, so they'll probably have to do surgery on him. We're going to fly him back privately with the doctors and take him right to Birmingham and see what we have to do right away. If that's the case, and we're pretty certain that it is, that he would probably be out for the year.
So our best to Waddle. Just awful for that young man, one of the best playmakers this season. Entering Saturday, Waddle led all FBS wide receivers in yards after the catch, and it was among the top 3 in 100-yard receiving games and all-purpose yards. He is the only player in Alabama history with 3 career receiving touchdowns of 80 yards. As for the game without Waddle, let's get back to the action. You got to find someone else, does Mac Jones. Why not John Mechie?
Well, even without Waddle, Mac Jones still threw for 387 yards because he has guys like Devontae Smith and John Mechie who can stretch the field, climb the ladder, and make plays in traffic. This one good for 45 yards.
Yeah, they've got athletes everywhere. One of them includes 2nd and goal. 2 plays later to Najee Harris, gets the carry untouched.
Najee Harris leads the entire country in rushing touchdowns, now at 14.
So 3rd quarter, 3rd and 5. Tennessee on their own 30-yard line. Najee Harris, another big game, but you knew the defense was going to come up. Malachi Moore, scoop and score.
This inexperienced secondary starting to make plays. Malachi Moore, a true freshman, played so well against Georgia, and the defense starting to play better.
14 straight wins over Tennessee. Good old school rivalry between Notre Dame and Pitt. Our late, great Bino Cook would love this game, and Ian Book likes Ben Skoranek over the middle.
And who says Notre Dame can't throw the football? Ian Book came in with more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns. 3 passing touchdowns today.
True or false, Skoranek looks taller than his listed 9.
He's only listed at 6'2". I think it's because he wears number 11 and his T-shirt's tucked out or whatever. Pretty unbelievable. This on 3rd and 14. He only had 2 catches, but both went for scores.
Man, look, good for him. Either way, bad day for Joey Yellen, intercepted by Nick McLeod.
He has a struggle for Pitt all day long. 3 interceptions by Yellen, and the defense once again gives up 30 points. This is their 4th straight game they've given up over 30 points.
Look at that grab. Their first 40-point road win since 2003 against Stanford. And now let's take a look at who you guys think could be in the college football playoff with the Capital One fan votes.
All right, Maddie, week 8 in the books. Big Ten playing football again, so we could see some changes in Joey's and my top 5. Now, we both got Clemson number 1. We both got Alabama number 2. That doesn't change. Joey, kick us off with your 5 spot.
Big Ten is finally back playing some football. The Buckeyes, Justin Fields, 1 incompletion all day long. Offense looked really good. Defense had some issues early in that game. Big game against Penn State next week. I think they'll be a lot better.
I got Notre Dame at number 5. Struggled running the football against Pitt, but finally the passing game got going. That was the best Ian Book has looked this season. That's going to be important. Skoranek making plays, Javon McKinley. Mayer at tight end is a great weapon as well. And I think they've got to be balanced on offense if they're going to beat Clemson in a couple weeks when they play. Number 4, I'm going Georgia. I know they gave up 41 points against Alabama a few weeks ago, but I still love this defense. And I think this is a team that can win the SEC East and maybe get a rematch with the Tide if Stetson Bennett, quarterback, avoids mistakes.
I agree with what you said about Notre Dame. Ian Book came into the game this weekend with more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns. Threw for 300 yards, threw for 3 touchdowns. The offense showed us something we haven't seen this season. That's why I have them up at number 4. I think they're a team, if they continue, they'll have a chance to make some moves. And at number 3, the defense of the Georgia Bulldogs had this weekend off. We didn't get a chance to see them, but I still believe they're the best defense in the country. And simply because if Notre Dame played Georgia, I think Georgia still wins that game.
I got Ohio State at number 3. I've only seen them play 1 time, but I like what I see. You mentioned Justin Fields looked great. I would like to see the Buckeyes run the ball better. Defense struggled a little bit early in their week 1 matchup against Nebraska, but they kind of got it together later in that game. Bottom line right now, I think Ohio State would beat both Georgia and Notre Dame. So, Matt, here's our top 5. The picture's always changing.
I'll sign up for that top 5. The top 5 teams in this week's AP poll are all in action next Saturday. And by the looks of it, maybe it's a day where you just kind of hang out on ABC and hang out there all day. Remember, twitter.com/SportsCenter on Monday to vote. Gentlemen, I need you to hustle back to the desk because I'm going Big Ten no huddle, and I'm starting with a pair of new coaches, kind of. Michigan State, Mel Tucker making his debut, but Greg Schiano back for his 2nd stint as Rutgers head coach, and Nathan Vedrol takes the handoff, 24 yards.
Vedrol was following Scott Frost around for a while, played at UCF, played at Nebraska, and you can see he's that type of quarterback, can make plays with his feet.
How about Rutgers, 21-7 at that point, and then Vedrol to Shamin Jones.
This really was about the Rutgers defense. They forced 4 fumbles, got 2 interceptions in this game.
First Big Ten win for Rutgers since November 4th, 2017.
These kids that have been in the program have had some tough stretches. and to see the joy on their face, but how they did it, because we had some downturns in the game, and that's what I talked to them about. I don't want to see, the woe is me. I want to see tough guys that, just keep going and keep chopping, as we say. And that was the most impressive to me.
How about Schiano coaching them up? Prior to Saturday, Rutgers scored 13 points per game and allowed 36 in Big Ten play.
That's not good.
No, it's not. And Saturday, the Scarlet Knights flipped the script by scoring 38 and allowing 27. The +4 turnover differential was its best in a game in Big Ten play. Iowa and Purdue. First quarter, no score. Aiden O'Connell to David Bell for the touchdown.
Bad news for Purdue. They didn't have Rondale Moore at receiver. Good news, they got last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, David Bell. He made a ton of plays.
Yeah, how about Purdue? You didn't think with the Rondale Moore situation they'd come out, but Mekhi Sargent gets it for the Iowa. They go up 14-7.
Has Iowa's offense ever changed between the tackles? Sargent averaged 7 yards a carry.
And worth pointing out, the head coach, Jeff Brom, he was out with COVID, but nonetheless, Purdue gets the win. Boilermakers Boylan 24-20. Maryland and Northwestern. One play, Drake Anderson, 37 yards.
They got a new offensive coordinator in Mike Bajakian. They got a new quarterback in Indiana transfer, Peyton Ramsey. And how about Northwestern's offense? Explosive. They hang 43 on Maryland.
How about Locks, man? 43-3 the final. That's a big one. Also a big one. Auburn and Ole Miss for different reasons. We'll check in on Seth Williams and Bo Nix. And you know what? I kind of want to check in on Liberty because Hugh Freeze and Liberty scores points. And they'd like to tell you via Twitter, all we do is win, 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 no matter what. That's 6. We counted. Go Flames. They're on fire. So is College Football Final. As seen late night, Saturday night, ESPN. BYU and Texas State, they were already up big. And the Zach Wilson, the Dax Milne show continues. 45 yards for the touchdown, and BYU continues to make football look really, really easy. What about FAU and Marshall? Third quarter, Marshall down 9-7. Grant Wells, we love this kid, to Artie Henry, 41
True
yards.
freshman can sling the magic bean. 251 yards, 2 TDs. Marshall, 5-0. They're playing some football.
How about Thunder and Herd? 20-9, the final. Marshall, perhaps my favorite video of the day. Some Sunbelt Fun Belt. Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern. I'm Sunbelt Maddie. Tied at 14. Coastal Carolina on the move. Peyton to C.J. Maribel, 24-yard touchdown. Coastal Carolina goes on to win. And here's how they celebrated the victory.
I thought it was like a fight with an Eagle mascot. I get it. It's WWE.
Oh, that's Southern's mascot, and they're
no.
Don't do it.
Not the table.
They're not going to do it.
The table.
How about the table's already broke?
Off the top rope.
Ow!
Already broke table.
Take that, puffy mascot.
Alrighty.
That's kind of aggressive.
Now we're having fun.
All right. Back to ball. Auburn, Ole Miss, 27-21. First and goal. Jerry and Ely up the middle for the easy score. Ole Miss takes a 1-point lead. Ensuing kickoff, short kick. Sean Shivers comes in, makes a play, then tries to retreat.
Yeah, he changed his mind. Okay, it was in the air. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do. That should be.
It's a touchback.
It's ruled a
fumble, right?
Yeah, but it's ruled. What is that? The officials didn't even stop the game to review.
That should have been a touchdown, Ole Miss. That's twice late in games now Auburn has gotten a call go their way.
That is unbelievable. And then Bo Nix back shoulder to Seth Williams.
Remember, Bo Nix and Seth Williams were not on the same page last week in a loss against South Carolina. That's a perfect back shoulder throw. And Seth Williams, 150 yards receiving.
2-point conversion. Auburn up 35-28. Matt Corral needs to come up big, crosses line of scrimmage, picked off anyway at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, you cross the line of scrimmage, you got to go ahead and run it. You got to throw this ball, give you guys a chance to make a play.
That is unbelievable, the call the officials missed, and Auburn again gets the call. Here's Lane Kiffin.
Well, they said they did, so, you don't really challenge anymore in college because they review everything supposedly, so there's no use of challenging because, I go to the guy and he says they looked at it and said they didn't see anything, so even when they don't stop it, they're still looking. Now, why they didn't stop and look closer, I have no idea. That's equivalent of a scoring play, which they stop all the time now, forever, it feels like. So, I don't know. Someone said post-game that it looked like his finger definitely moved, but whatever.
We're with you, Lane. What about LSU, South Carolina? TJ Finley, true freshman, making his debut. Miles Brennan injured. 11:23 first half. Finley to Terrace Marshall.
Good idea to look for Terrace Marshall. He's now caught at least 2 touchdowns in all 4 games this year. One of the best receivers in the country.
Joey, can I just tell you what a young true freshman comes in and just slings it?
He's 6'6". He's a big quarterback, strong arm. You can see the ball come out of his hand. He could be good moving forward.
Right out of the Jamarcus Russell and Rohan Davey mold, 52-24, all Tigers. Go Tigers. Top plays coming up. There were some really, really good catches on Saturday. We'll show you the best of the best. And on the other side of that, there's this, $1. We fine you for doing insane, embarrassing things. That's $1 on the way on College Football Final. Big one in the Big 12, Oklahoma TCU. TCU struggled against the Sooners and joined the Big 12 back in 2012. That continued Saturday. Spencer Rattler to Marvin Mims.
Rattler, 4 completions of 40 yards or more. And Marvin Mims, this one goes for 50. Marvin Mims, a true freshman, he's become the best receiver at Oklahoma.
And then Rattler, you speak him into existence, he's going to do it again. Mims, this time 61 yards. This is why I'm hot.
Yeah, and Gary Patterson could not be happy with his TCU defense. There's so many times there were wide open wide receivers for Rattler to find. Mims was his main guy.
TCU opens 1-3 for the first time this century. Let that sink in. Baylor and Texas. Sam Ehlinger to Josh Moore. What a catch.
Yeah, Texas came into this game with some injury issues at wide receiver, but Josh Moore climb the ladder and dunk on somebody.
Josh Moore can do this. First and goal, Texas, 2 plays later. I mean, just give it to Moore again.
Yeah, really good. In the second quarter and third quarter, Texas scored all their points, but it was enough. The Baylor offense struggled.
And Ehlinger now on the keeper after that touchdown, making it 13-3.
15 rushing attempts. He scored twice. We know he can do this, especially down in the red zone. And Texas snaps their 2-game skid.
And they've lost 16 straight, has Baylor as an unranked team against Texas. The final virtual lock from Saturday we do because it's part of it. If you're going to get out there with all your fancy graphics on Friday, you got to face the music. Brady White unable to take the snap, fumbles before he can hand it off.
There were 7 turnovers in this game. Temple had 4, Memphis had 3.
They were also 13.5-point favorites, and you took them. Memphis up 5. Riley Patterson attempted the 50-yard field goal.
Oh, looks good.
Yeah, you got it.
There were a lot of missed kicks.
That's how I knew I was in trouble. That's when I knew I was in trouble.
Keep your head up, young fella.
And you know what? You took 2 games in the noon window, which will set your mood for the rest of the day. Kylan Watkins, 15-yard touchdown. Now up 12. You're in it.
It's not enough.
All right, well, I mean.
I need more.
All right.
You're supposed to tease it better than that.
Well, Anthony Russo, out of the gun, hits Jaden Blue, skinny post.
4th and 9.
And Memphis wins 41-29. That's not a cover. So, virtual locks.
What is that?
0-1-1. You tie.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, you're from Canada. You guys tie a lot.
We're
5-4-1.
better than this.
You are better than this.
We're better. Next week.
Let's go,
You know what?
Galloway.
Let's both of you. That's $1.
Next week. Let's go.
We got a new segment this year on College Football Final. It's called That's $1. We fine each other $1 for saying or doing stupid things. Some would say it's a Barbie world.
That's $1.
That's $1.
That is $1.
A Charlotte player attempted to do the worm.
That's 10 dimes.
You didn't even headbutt a UFC anymore.
Go sell some lemonade, bring back 50 cents each, and pay your $1. I don't care. You're the punter. You got one job. Come on, man. That's $1.
That's
It's a terrible camera angle.
It's a game?
Here.
We're playing?
Did I miss class?
Actually, there was a kick, but TV was not ready.
This is ill-advised every day of the week. All right, handing out the first $1 to Boise State's punter because we officially now have a butt punt. What do you like? How does this happen?
This is amazing accuracy because he actually hits the right arm.
What is 85 thinking, though? He's just sitting there just getting ready to block.
You're like, what is this?
Yeah, what just happened?
I could not have hit that arm any better.
Why did my guy kick it into my back? $1 punter. Don't do that.
All right, Clemson, Syracuse. Syracuse has a freshman safety, Amon Greenwood. He's going to grow up and he's going to tell his grandkids he picked off the Hall of Famer Trevor Love. Yeah. No. And what's worse is you had 3 shots at this. Nope. Juggle. Got it. No, I don't.
He was so confident on the second one. This one he has. I got it.
I got it.
What he's going to tell his
I got it.
grandkids, he's going to be like, Matt, Jesse, Joey, find me $1.
They find me $1.
That's memorable.
I love the hustle by the offensive line. We get down, but we block. He caused the fumble. Cole Banward causes the fumble. Now, here's the only question, Barry. In the stat sheet, does he get credit for a cause the fumble?
Absolutely.
He gets, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, he gets something out of it.
And next to the stat sheet, he's got the $1 symbol.
That's fine.
Gets the hand right on the ball. Textbook.
Look, he paid attention at practice. From the good, from the bad to the good. Don Chapman.
No.
Oh.
How do you do that?
This should have been on $1.
Yeah?
It's a good interception, but should have been a touchdown.
Great. It was okay.
It was okay. Well, it was only number 5. Desmond Trotter to Kawan Baker, number 4.
Go get it. Smash route. Ooh, get a foot down. Get 2 hands under the ball, too. Nice job out here by Trotter, putting a lot of air under it, and then the DB kind of just give up on that.
Yeah, kind of. By the way, Matt Barrie, Mike Golick Jr. calling South Alabama this Thursday. Tune in.
Shameless
ESPN.
plug.
Jordan Travis fumbles the ball and then picks it up himself, 15-yarder.
I don't know that he wanted to get on top plays for this, but it did work out. But he's sitting there thinking, don't fumble the ball.
By the way, what happened to Florida State, Sam? They just beat North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, they used up all their energy.
Oh, congratulations, Jordan.
They were fresh out.
Number 2, Brennan Armstrong to Tony Poljan. We just showed this. What a catch.
Yeah, Armstrong out of concussion protocol, trying to give his guy an opportunity. It looks like Poljan's going to be going out of bounds, but after securing the football, the awareness, get that right foot down. It's nice for a tight end.
Was that the best? That was a left foot, so that's $1 for you. For right.
Yeah, you know, just
was that the best one foot catch of the day?
In Canada,
that's a right foot.
Oh, that's right, metrics.
Yeah.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
And Jigba, foot down, definitely thought this was out of bounds until we took another look.
Special. That's your top play from Saturday, as it should be, or the Mountain West being back. Makes me excited. What makes me more excited? It means the return of Hank Bachmeier. Boise State, Utah State, over the middle to Khalil Shakir.
Nobody can catch him. A lot of speed thrown down, deep down the middle of the field. This would be one of 2 receiving touchdowns for Shakir in the game.
And then later in the second quarter, this all Boise State, now up 21-0. Bachmeier to George Halani breaks a tackle, 17-yard score.
Halani also had 100 yards rushing on 14 carries. Did a little bit of everything in this game.
They did, and Boise State in a rout, 42-13, the final. You know, we saw a walk-off in the World Series on Saturday. We also saw a walk-off with Nevada, hitting Romeo Doubs on a 9-yard strike. Pack survive. What a win for Nevada. And it's the most prestigious individual award in college football, unless you're Galloway and you give out a unit sticker. The helmet sticker ceremony coming up next. Best video of the day, overtime, Rice, Middle Tennessee State, tied at 34. Rice lining up for the game-winning kick. Colin Riccitelli's 45-yarder for the win. Looks good. Doink. Oh, my goodness,
it falls short. If you tried 100
Watch the
times
players, though. They don't know what to do.
Life.
The players are just looking at this.
One upright, crossbar.
At least pay it off by going
What are we doing?
in.
Crossbar.
What are we doing?
Oh, you've got to.
You had a club up.
You do. Got to use the 3-wood foot. And then in overtime, Middle Tennessee State takes advantage of the miss.
This is why it hurts.
Asher O'Hara, ball game. Colin Riccitelli, it's not you, it's me. Middle Tennessee wins 40-34. Time now for the best part of the program. Helmet sticker ceremony time.
Javian Hawkins, Louisville, 16 carries, 174 rushing, 3 touchdowns. Who was the last player at Louisville to do that? 150 with 3 rushing touchdowns.
Jackson, Lamar.
There it is.
Phillip Brooks became the 4th player in Big 12 history to have 2 punt return touchdowns in the same game. K-State always has good ones. Tyler Lockett, Joshua Youngblood. Now they got your boy Brooks.
Javonte Williams bounced back for North Carolina in their win against NC State on Saturday. 19 rushes, 160 yards, 3 touchdowns. Those in the second half. 5th ACC player to rush for 10 TDs in the team's first 5 games over the last 15 years.
Desmond Ridder, Cincinnati, 126 pass yards, 1 touchdown, 179 rushing, 3 touchdowns. The only quarterback in college football to do that this season.
This one's bittersweet for me because I picked against Wake Forest in my virtual locks. Apparently wasn't accounting for good old Nick Anderson.
Very mature
walk-on safety. 3 interceptions in the game. And what makes me feel better about this sticker, it's really because of his 3 picks. He's going to get a Scully.
That's a great story, and it shows some character out of you.
Yeah.
Ran against
Very mature.
Oxford.
I would have never done that.
And it's not about the stats on Saturday with Michael Penix Jr., who's getting the final helmet sticker of the night. It's the fact that he showed up when his team needed him most. 2 touchdowns, or the touchdown, the 2 2-point conversions in a big win over Penn State on Saturday, and the upset over the Nittany Lions. Michael Penix Jr., you earned it. Gentlemen, I want to end the show with a little bit of bad news. You're Rose and you're Jack, and row the boat is Titanic, and it went to the bottom of the ocean.
I don't understand.
We can't row it anymore.
I didn't see that movie either.
You didn't see Titanic or Top Gun?
No.